Welcome to Stock Knowledge and News with Arieous Invest, your trusted source for updates, earnings reports, and actionable insights to sharpen your stock market game. Join us as we explore market trends, decode the latest news, and empower your financial journey with expert stock knowledge. This is Trading Reimagined. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Glad to be back.
So today we're going to be taking a look at...
Some market movers.
Yeah, exactly. Just a quick little snippet from Arieous Invest. But like we always say, even the tiniest little pieces of information can really give us...
A lot of insight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of insight into what's happening in the markets.
Absolutely.
So without further ado, let's just jump right into it.
Okay.
So the first thing this snippet mentions is U.S. monthly jobs report due Friday.
Yes.
Now, this is something I think a lot of investors are probably watching.
Oh, for sure.
Like pretty closely, right?
Absolutely. It gives us a really good picture of the health of the economy.
It does.
You know, it's not just about the raw numbers.
Right.
You know, how many jobs were added or lost.
Right.
It's what those numbers tell us about where the economy's headed.
Exactly. And that can really impact investor sentiment.
It absolutely can.
I mean, think about it, right?
Yeah.
If the jobs report is like really strong, that could signal that the economy is maybe overheating a little bit.
Potentially.
And then that might make the Fed think about raising interest rates.
Exactly. That's one of the key things they look at when they're making those decisions.
Right.
And that can have a ripple effect across the markets.
Wow. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that angle of it.
Yeah.
That the jobs report could influence
Oh, yeah.
the Fed.
It's all connected.
Wow.
It's all part of this big
crazy.
casino.
So we've got the jobs report coming out on Friday, but that's not all.
Nope.
That has investors, kind of on the edge of their seats.
Right.
This snippet also mentions international trade tensions.
Yeah.
Specifically between the U.S. and China. So why is that such a big deal for investors?
Well, think of it this way.
Okay.
Imagine you're a company that makes smartphones, right?
Yeah.
Your screens, they come from Japan. Chips come from Taiwan.
Okay.
The assembly happens in China. So you've got all these different pieces coming from all over the world.
Yeah, it's a globalized...
Exactly.
Right?
So now imagine there are trade tensions between the U.S. and China.
Okay.
Suddenly those components are more expensive to get.
Right.
There might be delays, tariffs, all sorts of disruptions.
So basically anything that disrupts that supply chain is going to mean that it's harder for that company to make the smartphones.
Could be more expensive.
Yeah.
Could be harder to get the parts they need.
They might have to raise prices.
Exactly.
Or you might not be able to.
Might not be able to produce as many.
Produce as many phones.
Yeah, and that, of course, affects their bottom line.
Right, and that affects investors.
Exactly.
I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's a domino effect. You know, what starts with trade tensions can ripple out across entire industries.
So is it safe to say that any company that's really reliant on manufacturing in China,
especially,
is probably going to be feeling the pressure
most likely
from these trade tensions?
They're definitely going to be impacted.
Okay, and what about other countries?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, China's a big player.
Huge, but trade tensions can pop up anywhere and have similar effects.
So it's really just about watching the news and
staying informed. Yeah, absolutely.
About what's going on.
Exactly.
So I guess what you're saying is that investors should be paying really close attention to these trade negotiations.
Absolutely.
And thinking about how they might impact their portfolios.
Yeah. And maybe even looking for opportunities.
Oh, interesting.
You know, some companies might actually benefit.
Oh, yeah.
From these disruptions.
That's true.
You know, domestic companies that can step in and fill the gaps.
Right.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
Okay, so it's like a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Could be good for some companies. It could be bad for others.
Exactly.
And it's all about figuring out who's who.
Doing your research, knowing what you're invested in.
Wow. So we've got this potential volatility tied to the jobs report.
Yeah.
And then we've got the ongoing
U.S.-China trade situation.
Right.
Adding another layer of complexity.
It sounds like it's a really interesting time to be an investor.
It always is.
Yeah.
The markets are always changing.
That's true.
There's always something new to learn.
So for all of you out there listening, I guess the question to think about is this. Given all this potential volatility, are there any industries or types of companies that might be less affected by all of this? That's something worth exploring further, don't you think?
Definitely food for thought.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for another deep dive, everyone.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll catch you next time.
See you then.
Arieous Invest. Trading reimagined.